The chant is going to be Survivors Can't Wait, New York State must compensate. That works? New York State must compensate. Survivors can't wait, 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 New York State must compensate.
Survivors can't wait.
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 New York State must compensate.
Survivors can't wait!
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 New York State must compensate.
I'm feeling the energy today. There's so many people out here because we know that so much is happening in our community. What we hear on the news every single day, someone got hurt, someone got shot, someone got stabbed. But what we don't hear is the aftermath. What the families go through when a loved one has been harmed. What is their healing process? What is our government doing to help individuals heal? Today, we have a very important mission. We have been fighting for well over a year to make sure that we get the resources to the families who need it. We're talking about our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, our children. We are all in our healing journey. But to be able to do that in a way that makes sense, we need our government support. So today we are here with a bill, fair access to victims' compensation. It's common sense. We need to make sure that everyone has access to fair access to victims' compensation.
Yes.
Our bill removes the barriers, particularly for people of color. Yes, the police are here, and yes, sometimes they support us. But black and brown communities have had tension with police since their creation. And so if we want to be able to make fair access to victims' compensation, we have to give people options. Some of us don't feel comfortable going to the police. Some of us do. But there should be options for everyone to make sure that this funding is available for everyone. We also need more time. 1 week is not enough to report what's happened. Let's remember, we are not talking about the government giving us money. We're talking about the government reimbursing us. This is money that we have spent out of our pockets already. So today, we are here, deep, loud, and clear. Because survivors can't wait.
New York State must compensate.
Survivors can't wait.
New York State must compensate.
Survivors can't wait.
New York State must compensate.
Woo! Yeah. I'm fired up. So we have some powerful speakers. As I mentioned, we don't always hear what happens in the aftermath. We don't always hear exactly what families need to heal. sometimes we forget ourselves just how close we are to the individuals in our communities who have been harmed. I think about my family. I think about my brother who was shot. And the reality is he didn't get the service that he needs. And so what did that do? That exacerbated his mental problems. And today he's still struggling because he didn't get the support that he needs. We're going to make sure that everybody gets the support that they need. And we're not going to let anyone talk for us. We are here today to talk about the things that we need. The governor has an opportunity. We know that the governor understands the importance of victims' compensation. We know that the governor understands the needs, that the government must play a role in helping individuals heal. But she needs to hear directly from our family members. And so, I'm going to bring up someone who has been on the front lines, fighting for their family members, fighting for your family members. And I'm just going to pause a little bit because we have the media here. And you just give me the go-ahead. But before I bring up this powerful speaker, I need the governor to hear y'all one more time. Can y'all do it? Can y'all do it? Yeah. Survivors can't wait.
New York State must compensate.
Survivors can't wait.
New York State must compensate.
Thank you.
It's better if I shoot that way if we can talk with everyone behind.
Yep.
Yeah.
So our first speaker, Xenia, is going to tell you her story and why it's important for the governor to sign this bill. So please join me in welcoming her to the front of the line to tell her story.
Hi, thank you all. First, thank you for having me and allowing me to be a part of this. My name is Xenia Barnes. I am the co-founder and chief communication speaker for the Quantitel Anderson Foundation, fighting against gun violence via education. The foundation was founded after my nephew, my only nephew, was murdered. Ooh, thank you. Hello? 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 Can you start over? Just in case you can hear that. Oh. You can't? Okay, so.
If you need us, we can do call response.
If you can't, can you hear me in the back?
Yes.
A little louder. Yes. Let me turn on my portable lungs. Okay. So, again, my name is Xenia Barnes. I am the co-founder and chief communication officer of the Quantitel Anderson Foundation, fighting against gun violence via education. The foundation was founded after the murder of my only nephew, Quantitel Anderson. Quan was murdered 4 days after his 27th birthday, back in 2017. We created this foundation because we didn't want other families to have to experience that excruciating pain and agony that we experienced when this traumatic event happens. I'm here today to support this bill in collaboration with Common Justice, because as my colleagues spoke before about what the bill is, I'm here to support how it impacts our quality of life as survivors. Fact, nearly 50% of black victims are denied compensation for failure to cooperate with law enforcement. This is due to no fault of their own. This is due to the generational cycles of traumatic experience that they have had with police officers and law enforcement. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all officers do wrong or not all officers support, because there's so many that do. But to not stand with survivors is just to be complacent in what happens. So again, this act is all about ensuring that we minimize the re-victimization of survivors. It's about limiting their traumatic exposure to reliving those traumatic triggers when they have to come forward just days after an incident happens. So this act is now moving from requesting not only 1 year but 3 years of time to allow those families to be able to process their traumatic experience and navigate through their situation with humility and dignity. We are asking for the support of this bill to be signed so that we can ensure that, again, we are seen as humans, so we are seen as individuals. We are each other. So this is not an issue of me. This is not an issue of you. This is a racial justice issue that impacts us all. We have enough awareness. We have enough months that brings awareness to violence and gun violence and day-to-day crimes. We have mass media that brings that awareness. Right now, we're calling for action. We're calling for the governor to stand on her commitment to support survivors. We're calling on her to show up for survivors the way we show up for her on election day. We're calling for her to stand on her commitment and sign this bill into law because we deserve it. All survivors deserve to have fair access and equitable compensation when they're in their time of need. We're not here to be re-victimized. We're not here to be re-traumatized. We're not here to beg for things that we have already contributed to. We're here to ask for you to support us by showing up. We're here to ask for you to support us by signing this bill and making it a law because, again, we are demanding that you support us the way that we support you. As a doctoral candidate, there's a focus on human behavior, advanced human behavior and trauma. I have first-hand knowledge to how traumatic experiences directly and indirectly impact not only the immediate victim, but also the rest of the survivors. It impacts the family members. It impacts the dynamics of their day-to-day living. It impacts their quality of life. So, if you, Governor Hochul, are saying that you stand with survivors, you will stand with your commitment, you will sign this bill into law, and you will show up for us the way we show up for you on Election Day.
Survivors can't wait!
New York State must compensate!
Survivors can't wait!
New York State must compensate!
I said survivors can't wait!
New York State must compensate!
The Assembly passed this bill. The New York State Senate passed this bill. We just need the governor to use the power of her pen to make this bill law. The families members here are counting on it. My next speaker, who's also been fighting for her child, for your child, and for our community. Please join me in welcoming Kelsey.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Governor Hochul, if you can join us by taking advantage of your power of uplifting your ancestors' dreams by helping assign the fair access to victim compensation, you can help us move forward. Thank you, Common Justice, for taking the lead in the voices of the survivors and the victims' families. Governor Hochul, I need, as my family member, as a survivor, as my sister's legacy, I need you to sign this bill, Governor Hochul. My name is Kelsey Hidalgo. I am a survivor and the little sister to this beautiful soul t-shirt, Ramon Elizabeth Rodriguez. I'm also the founder for Long Live Our Butterfly because I too am going to help move this generational work forward with you, Governor Hochul, because I believe in you. Governor Hochul, it is an honor to see a governor who not only understands domestic violence, but I was also present when you did the signing package of the 5 legislations in the state of New York to strengthen protection and support of survivors. That was in October of last year. I was there, Governor Hochul. That day that you made an everlasting impact on me, and you shared that not only was your mom a domestic violence activist, but for her 70th birthday, what she wanted was a transitional home. And they started in the 1970s. We have moved forward, and your mom had that grain of salt, Governor Hochul. This home was named after your grandmother, Governor Hochul. Kathleen Mary, who was a DV survivor. And although this bill is not only for domestic violence survivors, it is for all, this is going to help us move forward. And all you need to do is lift your pen and help us move forward, Governor Hochul. It created an immediate sense of empathy and fostered a deeper level of trust, forming a stronger bond as I recognize that we share a mission. We share a mission. Governor Hochul, you were honored. You were honored to continue to carry your grandmother's name and to continue her honor and her legacy. I urge you to join us, Governor Hochul. Join us today in honoring our ancestors by signing the Fair Access to Victim Compensation. This is a racial and a social issue, and you know it. You know it, Governor Hochul. All survivors deserve a fair and equitable access to healing. Family members of victims that are no longer here, we need to focus on healing. Help us. Help us help ourselves and our community and our future. We hear from Black and brown communities in New York that we aren't able to heal from our harm because the barriers to the access of victim compensation does not really exist, Governor Hochul. When you have the power, you have it. The Fair Access to Victim Compensation Act will eliminate those barriers from every New Yorker accessing life-saving funds. Survivors can't wait.
New York State must compensate.
We're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. I got one more speaker before we close out. Again, before I bring on our next speaker, our elected officials understand. And as Kelsey said, we have faith in you, Governor. We need you to sign this bill. Also, we have support on the city level from our public advocate. Standing here to represent our public advocate is Mr. Solomon.
Good morning, everybody. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
My name is Solomon Acevedo. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the Deputy Public Advocate for Justice, Health, Equity, and Safety in the Office of the New York City Public Advocate, Jumaane D. Williams, who unfortunately cannot be here today, but has been a supporter of this legislation from the outset due to his commitment to gun violence and those who are victims of violence in general. We know that this bill is a no-brainer. That is why the Senate and the Assembly have already passed it. And this is why we're here today, to demand, not to ask, but to demand that the governor do her job and make sure that the most vulnerable people in our society get help. As a survivor of violence, I know what it's like to feel the shame, to feel the pain, the post-traumatic stress of going through an experience of being victimized, especially when it's done with the violence of weapons, when it comes to sexual violence, people are traumatized and they need more time to process the actual experience that they had before even thinking about how to heal and recover. And there's a period of time that's right now delineated that is too short. And this bill would help change that, would help give access to people to pay for funeral services, to pay for the necessary medical care that they may need, the mental health care that they're gonna need for surviving violence. And this is something that shouldn't even be a question. The governor has stood up for this for many, many, many months now. So what's the holdup? Why are we waiting? This is something that needs to happen today. As was stated before, this is a racial justice thing. This is a gender justice issue. This is an immigrant justice issue. People who are non-residents, undocumented, individuals who are afraid to be deported, need options to be able to get the compensation that they need and deserve. LGBTQIA plus identifying individuals who are most likely to be dismissed when reporting crimes to police officers need this protection. Survivors of domestic violence need this protection. And that's why, again, we're asking the governor, sign the bill. Stop wasting our time and stop bringing harm to other New Yorkers. So what do we want?
New York State compensate.
Justice. We want justice.
We want justice. Because New York State can't wait.
We gotta get this. New York State. We gotta do this over.
Justice.
What do we want? Come on. Let me get it.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
Thank you, Echo.
Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know, my name is Marquise Jacobs. I'm the Director of Organizing at Common Justice. And as we close, the stories that you just heard and why we're so committed to making sure fair access to Victim Compensation Act becomes law. The victims and families that would be helped by this legislation are people you see here today. They are our neighbors, our friends, and even our own children. They're coping after violence and just need a little support to heal and get back on track. Governor Hochul understands the importance of this issue. She also understands that most New Yorkers don't even know this funding exists. That's why we've launched a statewide coalition with Moms Demand Action. With RAP. With the town. New Yorkers Against Gun Violence. We're here deep. Governor Hochul has the opportunity to substantially expand access to this life-saving funding. So that's what I'd like to wish Governor a happy early birthday. And present her with this gift. Thank you, brother. That's right. We didn't come empty-handed. We came with a gift for the governor. And in this gift basket, if you don't mind opening it up, and I'll ask you to read the card.
Happy birthday.
Now what does the card say? Open the card.
Happy birthday, Governor Hochul. As you celebrate, we urge you to sign the Fair Access to Victim Compensation Act into law now to help survivors heal. Let's stop the violence, the cycles of violence in New York for your birthday this year. Happy birthday.
Can you show that? Can you show it? Yeah. Hey, can you open the card, please? You should open the card, yeah.
Our wish this year is for a governor to support crime survivors
and sign the bill. Can we all wish her a happy birthday loud enough for her and her friends to hear all the way in Buffalo? So y'all ready? Y'all all been received this time. We're going to say happy birthday to Governor Hochul. So ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.